Every single day, the new financial system is looking better and better. And I'll let the financial system, the legacy financial system, tell you that, right? We have this article here, and this article is titled, it's from the Wall Street Journal, first of all. It's titled, SEC wants more banks to disclose more on commercial real estate exposure. Every day we get closer and closer to the fire. Well, not we, but the legacy financial system. Why do they want to know about commercial real estate and their exposures? Because like I've said so many times, that's what can bring down those banks. That's what can bring them to their knees. One of many things, but it's a big thing. That's why they want to know. And it's getting worse and worse. And we're getting closer and closer to more banks collapsing. That's why they want to know. But I'll read you this a little tidbit and let them tell you themselves. It says this. The Securities and Exchange Commission is questioning some community and regional banks about their exposure to commercial real estate in their loan portfolios, as potential losses on the loans could spur them to further cut lending. That's not why, but wait until we get to the second part, right? They're going to tell you something. The SEC released four letter exchanges in the past week or so, in which questioned smaller financial firms about their CRE commercial real estate exposure and loan portfolios. Banks are falling. Pay attention to this part here. Banks are falling under the regulator's spotlight increasingly around the effects of the CRE credit crunch. Commercial real estate, I want to make that real clear. It says, which threatens to trigger failure for banks highly concentrated in property debt. Let me say it again, because see, people don't understand what's going on. We've been serious about this for a long time on this channel. By the way, if you've been here long enough and you heard us talking about commercial real estate and how it could take down banks, and we've made it to this point, smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right. And I'm going to keep bringing you this real good, serious news. Once again, if you didn't hear it, it says CRE credit crunch, which threatens to trigger failure for banks multiple. You think that Ripple doesn't benefit from the banks being weakened and collapsing? You think that XRP doesn't benefit when they need something to prop them up, when they're not going to be able to borrow from that Fed's bailout fund, even though they don't call it a bailout fund, when they shut it down at some point in 2024? You don't think that those banks are going to be at an elevated risk of collapsing? I think so. I think we definitely will benefit. I think Stellar's in the game as well. I think the new financial system, if those banks collapse and we get some sort of clarity, we get the ending of that SEC case, this would be a beautiful setup, in my humble opinion. You tell me. Maybe you have some thoughts that are different. But let me once again, threatens to trigger failure for banks highly concentrated in property debt. So nothing has changed. The setup is better, is worse for them, better for us. But I'll also say, hey, this is not financial advice, not financial advisor. But do you know, if you're dealing with regular banks still heavily, right? Do you know if your bank is at risk? Because I would ask some questions. I definitely would. But wait, there's more. Let's go here. This article is from Financial Times, FT.com. You tell me this isn't someone telling on themselves. And it's titled, SEC's Gensler calls for shorter settlement times in currency markets. What? This is so insane. That's so mind-blowing that an individual who is against the new financial system, this is what he has propped himself up to be, he gave us such a hard time, still giving us a hard time, would talk about settlement times when we are the technology and we have the technology to shorten the settlement times. We have the technology to make everything better. But what could that mean? Him saying something like this? Do you think maybe the money behind the scenes is finally getting to him, like that pressure? Because they put money in these different, legal teams and politicians' pockets to put pressure on individuals like this, because they want to flip the switch. They want to deploy the new financial system. They want to deploy XRP. They want to deploy XLM based systems and get it up and running. They both have huge backings. They want to deploy quant, right? So they're putting the pressure on them. Do you think maybe it's some of that money from BlackRock and Valkyrie, Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton putting the pressure on this individual? You tell me. Let me know. Talk, people. Let me know. So this is what it says. I'll read a little tidbit here. EU's top financial services chief McGuinness says it's now a matter of when and how single day deals are brought in. Wait a minute. Regulators should work to include foreign exchange in the global push to shorten trade settlement times on financial markets, the U.S. top securities regulator said on Thursday. Is what the SEC is saying. Gary Gensler, chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, said regulators and market participants should consider narrowing the window to finalize deals to a single day. You see, this is what happens when you have a very, very stubborn individual who knows that they're wrong. He knows he's wrong. He knows that these markets need to cut their settlement times because those who back him, and there's a lot of backers of him. Remember who he had meetings with? That shows you that he's on the table, right? All right. But they want him to go in one direction. He's so stubborn. He still wants to press back a little bit. He's trying to find a way around the new financial system, but that's not going to work. They're not going to do this. If they were going to do this, they would have done it already. But the fact that they didn't do it already, but they've been very rapidly congealing with the new financial system tells me everything I need to know. But look at that. Oh, suddenly he wants settlements to happen in a single day. Something that we could easily set up. Easily. You give Stellar or Ripple or Quant, give them a month. They could deploy something easily. It'd be base level, I mean. But they could deploy easily and have everything running. It'll be settled in minutes, seconds even. You tell me how good they are. I think they're the best of the best. What do you think? But I just wanted to show you that, right? Let's move on here. We got a little bit more. So now we have this article here. Ripple CTO David Schwartz has provided insights into Ripple's strategic move into the projected $10 trillion crypto custody market with significant players such as Medico and HSBC. What does it say about the future of crypto? What they think about the future of crypto? We've seen a lot of big businesses going into the custody business. If there's that much capital flowing through crypto at some point, you don't think some of that's going to be making its way through the top coins? Of course, Bitcoin's going to have its take. Ethereum's going to have its take. XRP's right there. XLM's right there. Quant's right there. Right? Algorand, Hedera, LCX is, I think LCX has been a little bit green the last few days. They've been going up a little bit the last few months, little by little. XDC, you don't think that they're going to take a good swath of that? I beg to differ. It says his remark on the subject came during a recent interview on the Thinking Crypto podcast. Specifically, the conversation shed light on Ripple's acquisition of Medico, a custody firm. Let's scroll down here, find out what he actually said. It says here, in response, Schwartz disclosed that the decision to delve into the custody scene was driven by the need for a comprehensive solution in Ripple's pursuit of being a one-stop shop. So world domination again, or rather total crypto domination. They want to be at the forefront. They want to be at the top. That's very good, which means anything they put their hands on or anything they have their hands involved in, like XRP, they're going to push to the forefront, which is great for XRP holders, just my humble opinion. It says one-stop shop for institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies. Of course, when dealing with Ripple, XRP has to be at the front of that pack, period. All right, so now let's move on here to a little bit of Stellar news, just a little bit here. So there was this post from a company that Stellar started dealing with a little while ago called Certora, right? So Certora makes this post here, says here, we're happy to share our audit report for Blend.Capital from @ScriptOfficial. Their team was exceptionally professional, responded quickly, and shared knowledge as our first Soroban official project. So they're already beginning to test this stuff out, run it. It's working well. This is great news, great information. That means when they roll Soroban out, when they vote on it and it's deployed, it can possibly hit the ground running. That's what I want. That's what I hope for. We have to wait to see what actually happens here. But let's learn a little bit about Certora. So Stellar made this post here about Certora back on October the 11th, 2023. It says a milestone in smart contract security. Certora teams up with Stellar Network smart contract platform Soroban. It says today, the Stellar Development Foundation and Certora announced security support for Soroban, the Stellar Network smart contract platform with cutting-edge formal verification capabilities. Soroban, we know what Soroban is. Let's skip that part. In the adversarial world of smart contracts, security is paramount. Smart contracts, which automate transactions and processes on blockchain platforms, are sensitive. They can handle a significant amount of capital and entirely transparent so anyone can see codes. All right. They go into a lot of things that we already know. I don't know if Stellar understands this, but a lot of times those who read these blogs and watch the videos and listen to the audio, you're preaching to the choir. We are people who already know a great deal about Stellar. I think more when you're on mainstream news, you're talking to maybe a new audience, that's how I look at it. It says here, Certora, a pioneering formal verification tool. Now that's what I needed to know. Who is Certora? What do they do? What do they offer? Okay. What experience do they have? That's what I need to know immediately. When you're talking about new companies, I need to know that. Certora, a pioneering formal verification tool, has been at the forefront of this effort, providing developers with the means to verify their code. It says, quote, one of the lessons learned from our experience in DeFi is that tools and auditing come too late in the development process. This oversight increases software costs and leads to bugs being detected only after vulnerabilities have been exploited. And then they go on a little bit further and then they unquote here. So pretty much what Certora is like a shot of steroids to Soroban to ensure that Soroban is as secure and good as possible. That's all I need to know. Very, very good. And I'm glad to see those types of developments there. So now let's move on here because we have some major banking problems going on in the world right now. I keep telling people that. And every day we see these articles here. People better prepare. But hey, if they don't, what are you going to do? We can't tell people what to do. This is from Reuters.com and it's titled, Italy uncovers 19 billion. Why did I say 19 up top? 1.9. My apologies. $1.9 billion fraud linked to Chinese shadow bank network. The problem is it's hard to acquire information about these shadow banks, especially in the West. The West has a major shadow bank problem as well. It's just not talked about often, although we covered a few articles, years back about the shadow banking problem within the West. But let's read this little tidbit here. Italian police said on Thursday they had uncovered a tax fraud carried out by 85 suspects involving 1.7 billion euro, $1.9 billion and false invoices with money laundered through a system of so-called Chinese shadow banks. Listen, here's the problem with shadow banks. The shadow banking industry has so many ties to the legacy industry. Shadow banks go down, they're going to cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. You could do Google search it yourself and you'll see. All right, so you have that going on there. Let's move on here. So then you have more banking news coming out. Not good news either. It's usually not good news. And listen, I wish that the system was better, but it just isn't. I have to tell the truth about what it is. Right. So this article is also from Reuters. India bank liquidity deficit hits record high. The deficit widened to 3.34 trillion rupees, $40 billion deficit. As on January 23rd, nearly tripling from the start of the month. Data from the Reserve Bank of India showed things are heating up in this banking system. You see, the West is concerned. You saw the first chapters where the SEC is questioning the banks about commercial real estate. And they said that that commercial real estate problem could take the banks down. You got problems in China. You got problems in India. You have massive problems in Europe. So the legacy system is on fire and burning. It has been for quite some time, but it seems that now things are speeding up, right? So now let's move on to another article here. Now we're going to end off here with a little bit of Chainlink news, all right? I'm super bullish on Chainlink into the future. It says this, Chainlink debuts functions on Arbitrum on Arbitrum 1 to connect Web 2 APIs to Web 3, which we know is big business. Arbitrum developers gain access to global APIs through Chainlink's latest integration. It says Chainlink, the decentralized Oracle network, and Arbitrum, a leading layer 2 scaling solution, announced today the mainnet beta release of Chainlink functions on the optimistic rollup chain Arbitrum 1. This integration marks a significant milestone in the evolution of smart contract capabilities, allowing developers to connect their dApps to any API with trust-minimized computations. It says, quote, making functions available for Arbitrum users is about connecting Web 2 and Web 3 developers, bridging the gap to allow for shared collaboration, growth, and shared sense of community, unquote, said Johan Eid, Chief Business Officer of Chainlink Labs. Chainlink Functions provides a decentralized compute runtime similar to a serverless offerings like AWS Lambda, enabling Web3 applications to run custom off-chain logic. So Chainlink been doing a great job. They continue to move forward very strongly. They've been involved in a lot of different interesting projects, from things like this to the whole Swift thing. I mean, they are on fire this year. I'm looking forward to seeing just how high that price can go into the future. I do want to make a lot of money off of Chainlink. So make no mistake about it. Although I respect the company and what they're doing, they're doing a great job. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.